So here we're given a quadratic function, 2x squared plus 6x minus 2. We know that the graph of a quadratic function is a parabola, and we need to find the vertex of this parabola. Now, in order to find the vertex of a parabola, one way of doing that would be to convert this equation to the standard form. So the standard form of a quadratic function looks like f of x equals ax times x minus h, a times x minus h the whole squared plus k. So that's a standard form of a parabola. And once we put it in the standard form, we'll be able to determine the vertex of the parabola from the standard form. So let's start with the function f of x equals 2x squared plus 6x minus 2. In order to bring it to the standard form, we need to complete squares. So the first step is to factor out a 2 from the first two terms of the quadratic function. So that would be x squared plus 3x. And we leave the 2 outside. Now we have to work inside the parentheses to complete squares. So we have 2 times x squared plus 3x, and in order to complete squares we need to fill this blank with a number that'll help us complete the square. So we need to add that number and subtract that number in order to complete squares. And the number is, take the coefficient of x and divide by 2, and that's the number that is squared, and we add and subtract the same number. So the coefficient of x is the number multiplied to x divided by 2 and then the whole squared. Now the first 3 terms here together form a whole squared. So remember that a plus b the whole squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And in this case, x plus 3/2 the whole squared is square the first plus twice the product of the 2 terms plus square the second term. So we have x squared plus 3x plus 3/2 the whole squared. And that's exactly how we complete squares. So we have a whole squared sitting inside the parentheses. The 3 highlighted terms together form x plus 3/2 the whole squared minus 3/2 squared, because that's the extra term, minus 2. Now we distribute the 2 to get 2 times x plus 3/2 the whole squared minus 2 times 3/2 the whole squared minus 2. So that's 2 times x plus 3/2 the whole squared. When we simplify, the 2 times 3 over 2 the whole squared is 9/4 minus 2. That's equal to 2 times x plus 3/2 the whole squared minus 9/2 minus 2, which is equal to 2 times x plus 3/2 the whole squared minus 13/2. So now we've converted the equation into the standard form, and it is easy for us now to identify the vertex of this parabola. We can rewrite this as f of x equals 2 times x minus negative 3/2 the whole squared minus 13/2. Now we compare it to the standard form, which is 2 times x minus h the whole squared. or rather a times x minus h the whole squared plus k. So clearly the minus corresponds to the minus and the negative 3/2 is h. So hk is negative 3/2, comma, and the k is negative 13/2, right? Because this would be 2 times x minus negative 3/2 the whole squared plus negative 13/2. And that's what we're comparing with plus k, and that's how we get k equals negative 13/2. So that's the vertex of the parabola. So if the parabola opens upwards, that's the vertex hk. If the parabola opens downwards, that's the vertex hk. Recall that the coefficient of x squared tells us whether the graph opens upwards or downwards. In this case, 2 is a positive number, so therefore we know that the graph opens upwards.